Roger Stone here. Every day you wait, your money loses value, but gold and silver don't follow those same rules. American Sovereign Bullion gives you access to a nationwide wholesaler network, helping you secure aggressive pricing on real physical metals. Call 844-272-2428 now to get your free gold and silver guide to learn how to protect your wealth with physical gold and silver, delivered right to your door or with a gold IRA. Visit asbgold.com. That's asbgold.com for your free gold and silver guide today.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Taxi.
Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
All right, I enjoy this every Friday. My main man comes up after me each and every weekday morning here on 77 WABC at 10 o'clock. Puts on a kick-ass show. Trust me, kick-ass. Brian Kilmeade, also part of that great threesome, Fox and Friends, every weekday morning on Fox News. And his own amazing show. We'll get to it. In fact, I'll be back in 2 weeks. I'm very excited. Michelle Richmond, way to go, baby. 10 p.m. Sunday nights, One Nation. But, Brian, before you just came on, I spoke to my friend Elizabeth Barcahona. She's a big deal out in Los Angeles. Nice girl, part of the RJC with me, with Matt Brooks and Norm Coleman. And she's out there in L.A., and we talked about these races. The governor race, where, of course, I want Steve Hilton because that's what Trump wants, and watching Steve, I can't help but like him. And the mayor race, even bigger, where, of course, most of us like Spencer Pratt. And you look at Los Angeles, it is New York, right? They've got this DSA candidate, this lady in the mayor's race, who's a complete psycho. To me, she's Mamdani. To me, Karen Bass is kind of Andrew Cuomo. And then you get Spencer Pratt. The problem is we didn't have that guy in New York. Curtis Sliwa, miserably short of that. So it's similar in a lot of ways, but then again, it's not. But I think it's important that we keep an eye on these elections out in California, even from New York, because it does play a part in this country. And we need guys like Spencer Pratt and Steve Hilton to win. Bottom line, yes?
Yeah, and with the jungle primary, it's easy to see how it's easier to see how it could happen, because they got the sheriff out there who's second or third. And Steve Hilton said yesterday on our air, I've been talking to him, and if it's close, maybe we'll combine forces, and maybe, Steve is the lead.
Right, you're talking about Bianco, and it looks like he may be up for doing that.
And I think, Bianco's a good guy, but clearly he's not. If you watch any of that, he can't go deep on the issues. He's big law and order, but he can't tell you about the economy. He can't talk about homelessness and things to that nature. You could talk about the law enforcement angle, which is fine, and you could ramp up, but you're looking for the complete candidate. Steve Hilton actually studied it for 2 years and can run any campaign. I mean, he just so you know, he impressed. Steve Hilton came here because he got David Cameron elected, and he was a real power player. He's almost like the Karl Rove, David Axelrod. But he always had his own aspirations, loved this country, and then said, I'm going to go to California, and couldn't believe the image he had in California, and the reality was totally different. But he's like, you know what? I still want my kids to grow up here, so I'm moving. And then he worked to be a citizen. He kept everybody up to date on it. And he did a really good job on his Sunday show. And you really got to see how deep he goes on the issues. He was all over the Russia stuff, and he could really unwind. So when people say he was just a consultant, I think you're missing the point. Martin Van Buren, for example, he got Andrew Jackson elected twice and then said, you know what, let me try it. And he was a one-term president. But, you get to know the issues inside and out and how to run, and that's what we're seeing. And that's why he grinded it out. No event's too small. No insult is a problem. He can handle it. So I think he'd be great. But this is what I love about what's happening with Spencer Pratt. And I could totally see you doing this if you ever ran. What he did, number one, he's a very good communicator. Number two, he actually studied the top 10 issues, including the one that affected him most, and that's the fires and the lack of response. He studied it. So not only did his mom's house get burned down, not only did his house get burned down, did his friends, neighbors of his get burned alive. Then he found out about the water situation, what wasn't done. Karen Bass changing the after-action report? Are you kidding me? And her own staffers were so horrified, they came out and turned on her. So when he got on the debate stage, I got to see conservative views and a well-researched guy on the major issues, and I got to see liberal views, and I got to see extremist views. What we're seeing in these cities is liberal against radical. So that's the debate. This is the first time I see a Republican go, of course you don't give illegal immigrants health care, but they need it. But you're going to attract more. He says, you go down, he goes, I want to get more beds for the homeless. The homeless? Do you know that they don't want beds? Do you know that if you and I will go down, we'll meet with the homeless, and we say we go to bed, they want fentanyl. They want heroin. They don't want to be in bed. They will stab you to death. This is a addiction issue. This isn't a housing issue. And I go, yes, but usually I listen to you, Sid, for the Republican conservative response, and then if you want the liberal response, go to MSNBC. But finally, I saw it on the same stage. And my hope is that Los Angelinos who know this is not working will go, I don't know if he's Republican or Democrat, but I'm done. This guy did his homework. He said, I'm not traveling. He goes, you went to Ghana. Do you went to Ghana, Karen Bass? Don't worry about me not being in town. I'm not going anywhere for 4 years. I will stay in this city and make it work. And I just hope, this is my hope, that the people of Los Angeles will start a new trend. I am going to vote for the best candidate that can make my life better and not worry about Democrat or Republican. I want there are strong Republicans to run in Chicago. Obviously, we got a strong one as governor here. We didn't get a strong one as mayor because there was no debate there and there's too much baggage. But, man, if you had a Rudy Giuliani emerge, would he have a chance? They say no, so no one runs. I say run. Get your 10%. Next year it'll be 15%. The year after that, it'll be 40% because the Democratic ideals are not effective. They're all failing. Big story today is South Carolina is getting more New Yorkers than anybody else. It's not even Florida and Texas anymore. So we're losing congressional seats. We're losing people. Our billionaires are being mocked, so they're leaving. So at one point, if Republicans stay at it, they're going to go, I'm giving that woman a shot.
That is so well said. And you're right. I talked to Nancy Mace quite a bit, and Charleston is filling up with New Yorkers as we speak. And you mentioned if you ever ran, and I kind of joke around about it, but Laura Trump is like, you got us behind you, and Bruce Blakeman running for governor. He's like, oh, man, I'd love that if I'm governor, you're mayor, and others. So I'm considering it. I really am. I know it sounds crazy, but as Frank Morano told me on this show a couple of weeks ago, if I would have told you 20 years ago that a guy that was doing reality TV would be president twice, if I would have told you that the star of Bedtime for Bonzo would be governor and the president, or a rap star, not even a star, a rapper would be the mayor of New York City, or an action hero would be the governor of California, Schwarzenegger, you would have laughed. So, Sid, that's a joke. Come on. Everybody hates him. He's a radio guy, but you never know. And the truth is that Republicans need to do a better job. That's the bottom line. We don't run very good candidates in most cities, especially in New York. I do like Spencer Pratt. We need more of those guys in cities like ours and across the nation.
Because I listened to Spencer Pratt. I knew nothing about him. I just know the name. Was this guy an actor? And people would tell me, no, he was pretty big for a while. But he knows his stuff, and he's a very good communicator. He goes on Joe Rogan, and it takes you 3 days to get through it. I mean, those guys go for 3 hours. I don't even know how anyone could sit and listen. Not that it's bad. I just don't have that kind of time. But it took me 3 days. I go, oh my goodness, this guy's understands the issues. That's the key. You go up there and you say, we got to, crack down on illegal immigration. We got to make our schools better. Okay, fine. Well, we got to do something about the traffic. All right, great. But how? What are you going to do? So if you go up there and you get attention, and then when people say, well, what's your solution, and you have none, you blew it. And then people are going to start shutting off. What I like about this guy, he actually says, I know I'm going to tell you right now what I'm going to do. And go examine my plan. And don't tell me, I didn't memorize it, I wrote it. So Sid, you put that time in to take the top 10 problems with your solution with, of course, you sit down with the experts and you figure out what's been done and how hard it is. And then you go ahead and do it. And that's what Bruce Blakeman, to me, I'm convinced Bruce Blakeman's done his homework, knows exactly how he's going to deal with an opposition legislature, knows exactly what he's going to do with a hostile mayor. So you got to have a plan. So when people vote for you, they know they're not only voting for the personality, they're voting for the programs.
That's what you need. You need solutions. And Bruce spent 90 minutes in the Oval Office just a couple of days ago, just him and Trump, 90 minutes. In fact, he's going to join me later on this morning, Bruce, and talk about the specifics of what they discussed. And I agree, he is locked and ready to beat Kathy Hochul, who continues to flail. $268 billion budget, I guess, was approved yesterday.
The Marine Toys for Tots foster care program is bringing hope to children who need it most. Every 2 minutes, a child enters foster care, often with only a small bag of belongings. More than 400,000 children face trauma and uncertainty, many before age 8. This May, during Foster Care Awareness Month, Toys for Tots is creating Room for Joy. In 2025, nearly 375,000 children received comfort through toys, books, and essentials, reminding them they are not alone. Donate now and change a child's life.